Our river is the starting point of Singapore. The river itself, they have so many boats back to back in low tide, not moving will be there. During the low tide, that will be a stench. We all get used to it. But when the high tide comes in, the smell goes off. Then they started cleaning the river. They cleaned it up. Now it looks really beautiful. At the moment, the focus has changed. The river is clean. You have preserved the place. Architecturally, the buildings are very good. It's a thriving place for people to come and enjoy themselves. Not only the people, but also the tourists. You must understand these people who are working on the boat. They work very, very hard. Sometimes they may even sleep on the boat itself. But we all respected them. They were quite in their own way dignified. They did a marvelous thing for Singapore. In fact, they were the backbone of Singapore's economy to a certain extent. It is a remarkable thing, it's a remarkable feat to have the river cleaned so that the modern Singapore will emerge from that. When you come to Singapore now, everyone says it's very neat, very clean, very green. I have been associated with this place from the mid-50s until the 1990s. You can see there's so many cars. Those days, very few cars were flying. This area full of shop houses, stalls, food stalls and many other things. It's exciting in the sense those were the formative years of Singapore. From the United Bank Plaza to the Fullerton building, they were all shop houses. And the ground level was very small businesses or go-downs. And the upper level, people lived. There have been many office workers working in the banks, insurance companies. There were quite a number of Indian restaurants along Market Street during lunchtime. They will just come across Boat Quay area to have food. My brother was living in Chulia Street. They lived upstairs and the ground level will be shops. So I used to come and visit him often. There are 2 Indian stalls with very good biryani and the roti prata. There's a Chinese gentleman with his wife. They were running a pure orange juice stall. He will squeeze 3 big oranges. It's cold, fresh, it's 45 cents. We have even 2 glasses. It was really enjoyable. And Singapore River itself, when Raffles landed here, he looked at it and from that we evolved.
Singapore's Civic District Guide Sparky is here to help you find your way around. With some of Singapore's most notable historic buildings and spaces located here, the Civic District has become a place of arts, culture and lifestyle. Join Sparky on a guided tour of museums, events and exhibits and go on an interactive journey through the arts. Embark on an adventure with Sparky and learn fun facts as you discover public artworks nestled amongst the skyscrapers and national monuments. Take a stroll through the scenic parks or take a cultural walk through the district to see some of Singapore's most historic landmarks. And get Sparky's trusted recommendations for the best places to eat and shop within the district. Check out Sparky's video tours if you don't have time to explore all that the Civic District has to offer, or if you're far away and wish you were here. With Sparky, your Civic District Guide, get personalized recommendations, explore art and cultural offerings, learn fun facts, and discover the best shopping and dining spots in Singapore's Civic District.
Stay patient.
Come experience Singapore's Civic District as you hop from site to site on one of Singapore's sidecars. Take a ride in a hand-restored vintage Vespa sidecar and experience Singapore's sights, sounds and flavours up close. With the ever-personable drivers and guides, learn fun facts about this historic civic district and how it has been transformed into a vibrant arts and cultural hub in the centre of the city today. Take in the splendour of this historical quarter that is home to gazetted monuments, world-class museums and art centres. It's a one-of-a-kind tour. Come experience the Civic District in a fun way.
I remember back in the olden days, our great-grandmothers, doesn't matter we are Chinese, Malay, Indian or Eurasian, they wore kebayas. It was something that united and gave us a shared identity, and I wanted to bring that back. Kebaya by Ratiana is located along the bustling Busra Street, which is home to the historic Masjid Sultan. I wanted to make kebayas elegant, comfortable and feminine. None of my kebaya are mass-produced, and I would say every piece of our kebaya tells a story. There's a lot of history in Kampung Glam. There used to be a lot of tailors and fabric shops in this area. It makes me really happy to share my love and knowledge of kebaya with my customers and still preserve a little slice of our history.
My family's history is deeply embedded within Kampung Glam. My maternal grandfather, whom I was very close to, was a Dutch-trained diamond cutter who came and traded in Baghdad Street. And my paternal grandfather, who hailed from Sumatra, used to run a nasi padang stall around here. It felt right that I started my own business here too. All Things Delicious is a halal-certified bakery cafe located in a conservation shophouse at the heart of Kampung Glam. We are known not just for our iconic baked goods, but also for our chef-prepared comfort foods. Our menu is inspired by the melting pot of the community in Kampung Glam. We believe everyone can have their cake and all things delicious too. Today, old and new businesses coexist within Kampung Glam, and I love it. It's like we have our own ecosystem. I hope to continue to create memories for the new generations to come.
Oh, Boat Quay is very, very special. So many fond memories of my childhood here. Every time I come back here, it's very nostalgic. My dad used to own a shop house, pretty much exactly where we're sitting on right now. And the shop house on top of it was where my grandmother lived. So I spent a lot of time here as a child.
It brings back a lot of old memories, all the fun times, especially the Singapore River. Used to swim inside.
Yeah.
During the Lantern Fest, we used to tie a string from this side to the other side of the river and we'll hang lanterns.
Yeah.
Then we'll swim, then we'll have parties by the river.
Tony was a very playful boy. He was a very playful boy.
Yeah, we'll wait for the bump boat, then we'll hold to the tire and follow it all the way out. We used to play with fireworks along the river, and during Chinese New Year, we'll take those crackers and put in between the oranges. Then we just light it and throw in into the middle of the river.
The street is bustling. In the old days, there's a lot of coolie workers carrying their goods across onto the boat and back to the shore on a tiny wooden plank. I also remember as well the smell. My dad's shop house got this very distinctive smell. He used to trade in tilia, which is animal feed. Every time I come here, I remember that smell.
My mom will feed us dinner, but we gotta come down, then she can feed us. So we'll walk around the river. She'll bring one bowl with a spoon, feed us along the river. Then at night time, you'll see a lot of uncles and aunties. They'll sit down there and chit-chat and drink tea, some drink alcohol.
Mom would take us quite often to the temple across the river. For me as a little girl, I was always a little bit scared because it's very dark. My mom would go and do offerings and sometimes seek advice from the mediums.
In the early 90s, when they start to clean up the Singapore River, they stop all the bumboats from coming in. It used to be full of bumboats, live activities, but right now it's just a quiet river.
It's mixed emotions, it's got to be done. We can't keep living in the past, but definitely there's that sadness. What was Boat Quay before? The community, the people, is gone. It's very important that the younger generation realize how historical and important this part of Boat Quay is. And it was in the old days as a hub for a trade. I don't think the younger people realize that communities and families used to live here in the old days.
2 years ago, we bought my kids and my mom, my sister, my brothers. We came over here, then we walked around the river to explain to them where this used to be like.
It's a beautiful part of Singapore, the river. It's always nice to sit on this riverside and, enjoy the view of the river.
My interest in vinyl records started when I was a child, when I would listen to vinyl records owned by my parents and my uncle. Mostar Records owns a record store, an independent record label, and a vinyl record pressing label. We are the authorized dealer and the distribution hub in Asia for Third Man Records, which is owned by Jack White from the White Stripes. For the store, I wanted it to be an intimate and welcoming place for people to explore and experience music on vinyl. In 2017, we took the plunge and started our own label to discover and represent local and overseas musicians. We had been releasing our own vinyl records for the past 2 years. Mostar Records is an extension of myself, where I share my passion and experience in this industry. It's a place where musicians can come and perform, where vinyl collectors can indulge in their hobby, and where music enthusiasts can discover new genres of music.
What an interesting idea, Captain.
Eat plasma, you one-eyed uglies!
When people think about perfumes, they're most closely associated with the big French brands, but cultures that have the most links to the art of perfumery, I would say, are the Arabic cultures and actually the Indian cultures. I'm actually in this trade because of my grandfather. He started a perfume shop here in the 1930s. A lot of what you see over here, we used to just keep it in the back room. You know, it's a messy process, but now people want to see the process more and more. Like an open kitchen, people want to see what happens. By doing it this way, you actually become a part of the process, and you get to choose your ingredients. It's not just a finished product that you're buying, but you've inserted yourself into the process as well.
Something fresh and clean, like, clean cotton, bed linen.
Like clean skin.
Yes,
Yeah.
clean skin. I think it needs a bit more pepper. Bottle it up for me, please.
I hope that people start to see perfumes as an experience rather than just as a finished product that you pick up off a shelf.
Admin Museum of Toys, our collection is made up of toys from more than 40 countries. The countries like Bulgaria even make in Singapore toys. We have no windows in this museum, and the huge facade behind is to protect from the harmful rays of the sunlight, because our toys are all in mint or near mint condition. We showcase about more than 8,000 pieces of toys over here. This is less than 10% of the owner's collection. Remaining 90% we store in warehouses.
A famous freediver once said that scuba divers dive to look around and freedivers dive to look within, and that really spoke to me. I went to Hawaii, the big island of Kona, and I tried just diving off of shore. All of a sudden, I could hear the humpbacks offshore. So loudly, they was reverberating in my chest. You couldn't hear them from the surface, and you wouldn't have been able to hear them if you were scuba diving. And so I thought, oh wow, this is really amazing. You get these incredible experiences. I should try this. And so that's where I started. I'm Chris. I would describe myself as being post-corporate. I used to work for a company, and now I'm doing things for myself. Freediving can change someone's life, and has changed my life. It is a mind-body discipline. It opens up experiences that are not available to everybody. In fact, only a tiny fraction of the world will ever be able to experience the things that you can see and feel while you're freediving.
You will never find a place like this in Singapore. Even though this place is constantly changing, the kampung spirit lives on. Royal Fragrances is a shop specializing in high-quality bespoke perfumes located along Bussorah Street. My son and I run Royal Fragrances together, and we create and sell our own range of perfume and incense products. Our special product is called Bahur, which is wood infused with perfume. What is so special about our Bahur is that we have it made only for us with our special scents and flavors. You will never find it anywhere else in Singapore. The other unique thing about our products is that our perfumes are alcohol-free. Like Royal Fragrances, many of the businesses around here have been here for a very long time. I have spent my entire life living and working in this district. Nowhere else will you find a place where the community spirit is so strong.
The name satay bar means 3 pieces of meat in Hokkien. It is also a play on the Malay word satay. Satay bar Yakitori serves BBQ and skewer food with a twist. Our restaurant is along Bali Lane, a popular night spot in Kampong Glam. This place comes alive at night and has such a vibe. I was trained as an architect but found my passion in F&B instead. Without any prior experience in F&B, I spent 2 years under various BBQ and yakitori chefs to learn the trade from scratch. Although the hours are long and the job is physically demanding, I enjoy meeting people from all walks of life, and some have also become close friends of mine. This is a place for families, friends, colleagues to get together, enjoy a hearty meal, have a drink and distress after a long day.
Hi, my name is Simon Wong, and I'm an entrepreneur with a background in branding and design. Right now we're sitting on the Butterfly Bench, which is a memorial bench to my late wife, Pei Ki. We're outside the Asian Civilizations Museum. National Heritage Board has donated these 150-year-old gallery floorboards, which just happen to be the right shape and proportion for her bench. Several years ago, a friend of mine decided it would be a great idea to build sidecars. So we started making use of the sidecars in our events. So we used them to raise funds for, again, for various charities. And after a while, we kind of realized if my wife had survived, we wouldn't solely be working for cancer-related charities. All along, we've been using the sidecars for events and as you know, for fundraisers. For the sidecar tours, it's usually visitors to Singapore, but we do get a good percentage of locals as well, and they're very curious to see Singapore in a different way. Vesperas are very special. You know, they draw out a reaction from people that motorbikes you don't usually get it from a motorbike. You look at a Vespa, it's cute, and then with a sidecar, it's really, really cute. So the first reaction of anyone is the smile, you know, and then the phone comes out and they just want to take a photo of it. You could be walking down the same street and you don't notice a lot of the details, you know, around you. You may not notice all the details on the buildings and so on, but for some reason, when you're in a sidecar, suddenly your awareness switches back on and you start to see, you know, you start to really notice all the details and you start to notice what's around you and what you're seeing on your visit to Singapore. So I think it's a lot to do with the change of format, and it's a very, very unique format, so you do notice.
I grew up in Kampung Gelam. Back then, it was really a kampung. Everyone knows everyone. Each year, during Ramadan, the entire kampung will get together to take pictures in front of the Sultan Mosque after our Eid prayers. Rumah Makan Minang served Minang food, the cuisine of Minangkabau people from West Sumatra, Indonesia, where my grandmother originated from. We specialize in nasi padang, and our most famous dishes is the beef rendang and our signature green balado, which is served in Shangri-La Hotel, Singapore. In the 1950s, my grandmother set up a nasi padang stall at Kandahar Street. The stall was built with wooden planks. Now, almost 80 years later, our current restaurant Rumah Makan Minang sits in a shop house, directly opposite the site where my grandmother's stall used to be. Rumah Makan Minang is still a family-run business today. This place has been my home and my kampung for the last 40 years. There is no other place in Singapore like Kampung Gelam, and it will be our legacy for the next generation.
Maison Ikoku is a creative dining restaurant located along Kandahar Street that serves modern Japanese cuisine and bespoke cocktails. To me, food is all about balancing flavor. We're known for our omakase, creative maki, and handcraft sushi and sashimi. My favorite dish is our taco ibi with house-made crispy tacos filled with ama ibi tempura, nori, and kimchi. At our second-level restaurant, we're well known for bespoke cocktails. We custom design cocktails for each customer based on their palates. You can also see the wall of NFT where people can buy both canvas and digital art. And over our rooftop, you'll find the best spot in Singapore with a view of historic Kampung Glam neighborhood. Just like the balancing flavor, here at Maison Ikoku, you will also experience the marrying of the old and new.
Welcome to The Projector. We're on the 5th floor of the Golden Mile Tower in what feels like a car park, probably because we are in a car park, but inside we're going to find one of the shining lights of Singapore's creative art scene, so let's go check it out.
The Projector is currently the only independent cinema space in Singapore. We're kind of like off the beaten track, as you probably found out.
Yeah, I did find that out.
It's a little bit hard to get here, but it's a rewarding experience.
This unique building once housed a 1,500-seat cinema called the Golden Theatre, making it the largest in Singapore. The projector retains the original walls, the floors and the seat mechanisms, and it's this mix of old and new that really gives the space authenticity.
I think the interesting fact was that it used to show propaganda films as well, North Korean films, and then it became like a soft porn kind of cinema. But the seats are completely new. This is where we show most of our more serious art house films. As you can see, it's more intimate.
The other room was very green. I assume this is the red room, is it?
Yeah, this is the red room. We do hold the more fun films down here. We want people to have fun down here, just come here, have a good time, have a drink.
But this is a bit of a change of scenery. I can't say I've ever found a bar in a car park before.
Yeah, this is one of our newer additions within the last couple of months. This is where we hold most of our after parties for the films that we had.
Even if you're not a film buff, the projector is well worth a visit for its old world charm. And the fact that after the screening, well, you can even go for a party in the car park.
It all started from the day when my father passed me his old cameras, He got interest towards photography. So he said, okay, you want to continue photography, you want to take something, you can have it as my present. And that's the day I started. One of my cousin, he was an artist. The day once camera come in, all the painter who do realistic picture, the portrait picture, everybody lost their job. So based on his profession, cameras are their enemies. Then I said, okay, why don't we do something new? We accumulate all your enemies, put it at one place, and we do it in a unique way what others have not done it. Then he said, it's on, let's try, and that's how all it started. If you take a pigeon camera, it took about 8 to 9 years for us to found it. It is designed in such a way that a pigeon can carry. I love all my collection. One is world's first button camera. About 100 years back, they can create such a unique thing. There is a button you can put in your coat and they can control it here. The button can open and take a picture for you. See how clever those days the spies were. If you talk about a unique piece, yeah, we do have a machine gun used by Japanese military in the World War II. They use this gun to train the Air Force people. If you see, there is a lens. If you click, you don't get bullets. It will shoot you.
I don't believe in a shortcut can make something good. Precious is one of my personal brands, and now I start to let it run by all my apprentices. My goal is to bring back the original, how to make a good suit, how real tailors must be. We use the best quality fabric, and also we are using the best interlining fabric.
It takes about 8 weeks to finish a bespoke suit. After taking measurement, we will start to do the pattern drafting. 1 or 2 fitting sessions will be done, and after revising the draft, it will take us almost 80 hours to finish the jacket by hand.
We're trying to get something reach to the customer demand and request what he wants. So in the whole processing, the customer can enjoy very personalized service. Many of the tailors have already get out from the traditional. They find an easier way, faster way to process a suit. Don't care about what is the quality will turn out.
Nowadays, not many people are willing to carry on the craft. It requires a lot of time and effort. I found that tailoring is what interested me the most. In fact, I love the traditional craftsmanship, so I don't wish the craft to die.
We don't believe shortcut can get a good suit. So every steps we are follow exactly. So that's my idea to start the precious.
I came to Singapore in 2014. When I was looking for a space to set up Asphalt, I visited Haji Lane and I fell in love with the place. Kampong Glam for me has such a vibe, and I love the interesting mix of people and life here. I started Asphalt back in 2009 when I was living at this time in Switzerland. Asphalt is a sustainable fashion brand. We do not produce fabrics. Instead, we use fabrics that have been discarded by the fashion world. We try to source locally, and we work directly with craftsmen and women who specialize in embroidery, in beading, weaving, or dyeing. This way, we ensure they are paid the right price for their work. Each of our pieces is handmade and are one of a kind. As a French Senegalese, we grow up in a culture where we made our own clothes. I remember shopping for fabrics and designing my own clothes. Fashion design is something that has always been part of my life, and I'm happy to share my philosophy, my creation with my customer.
Man, that looks Instagrammable. Being Instagrammable is all well and good, but the food's gotta be great as well. Here we have the cauliflower furikake, which smells super enticing. I can't wait to dig in. Vegetables never tasted so good. Got the grilled portobello salad right in front of me, and I can't wait to tuck in. Here's the eggs Benedict, and the eggs are the best in Singapore. Organic grade A eggs. Oh, check that out. Check this out, you've got a whole soft shell crab to yourself. No wonder it's a bestseller. There's no better combination than waffles, chicken, watermelon, and maple syrup. Nice coffee flavor, and you see the color change as you drink it. Really fun stuff. Here's the boozy sedap cendol milkshake. That kick of rum at the end. I'm a fan of this.
Sin Hin Chuan Ki is one of the oldest haberdashery stores in Singapore selling garments and fashion accessories. In the 1960s, my grandfather was a salesman who would cycle across town to visit customers around the area. He registered the business in 1974, and our family has been running the business ever since. We have thousands of products, and we have been told that a visit to the store feels like a kid going into the candy shop. Over the years, we have grown together with our customers. Now we have 3 generations of a family visiting the shop to make their purchases. Aside from being a familiar sight along North Ridge Road, Sing Hing Chuan Kee has also become a meeting place for our regular customers. It is a heaven for our new generations of designers and fashion change makers.
My hands are still tingling and my heart is still beating really fast right now. It was amazing. When I accidentally hit someone, it really felt like there was a zombie touching me.
It feels so big in there, but it's intense, it's scary, and it's a workout. It was insane. It was so much fun.
It was awesome. I felt like I was in a zombie apocalypse myself. It really felt so real. It felt like you were walking upside down. I was so into the game. We just kept shouting. It was out of the ordinary. It was so fun.
Not much longer now, Raph. We just
Please,
need to grab a dress,
no
shoes,
more
sunglasses,
shopping.
and a jacket.
Hello? Wanna escape? Where? Somewhere awesome. Hell yeah! Yeah, Singapore has trampoline parks, but bounce is so much more than that.
Yo, Rafi, can you do a flip?
No, can you show me how?
So all you need to do, one, up.
Flipping is just one of the things you can learn at Flight Academy, where one of Bounce's awesome experts teach you how to do some super cool tricks.
Good, Rafi, much better now. This one.
Clear the 10 tricks on the freestyle list and get a free 2-for-1 voucher. It is as easy as the sit drop.
Good.
If you want even more of a challenge, check this out. Hope you're ready to lose to a kid. X-Park is like Ninja Warrior, but way cooler. I know I make it look really easy, but seriously, this is not for wusses. To do some shopping, but can we take a break for just an hour? I know this great place. They do Aussie coffee. It's just around the corner.
Welcome to my home, and these are my family. Our days are really relaxing. Most of the time, we like to bask in the sun, have some munchies, and once a while, we have visitors. I like to think we are great hosts. Though most of the time, we much prefer to sit at great heights and judge them. And once a while, we allow them to pet us. But just for a while. We still need to show them who's the real boss here. If you want, you can come visit too. But first, let me check my very, very busy schedule. See ya!
Sky bar, as the sun goes down and the lights come on, you want to give people an experience. There was one that actually made someone cry once. That was the first time I've ever experienced that here.
I would drop music from Africa and I play stuff from Latin America. I play a bit of hip hop and I'll move in and out to kind of fit the space there. I'm so lucky to have a view like that.
From the time I started work here, this is the one thing that I always marvel at, and I never get tired of this view. The club sound beyond 10 p.m. is always a little bit more mainstream, a little bit more digestible for the people who come up here. Because you not only have tourists, you have hotel guests, and you do have people who want to club. I think there's something for everyone.
I had a lot of good comments from the crowd. Everyone's like, oh, it's really cool to hear music from my country, and like C'est La Vie being quite an international destination.
When I was 15 years old, I used to work as an office boy in Arab Street. I remember in the 1970s, this whole area used to be street hawkers. Today, I own 2 restaurants in Kampung Glam. Nazarene is a Turkish restaurant that I started in 2012. We serve authentic Turkish cuisine. Some of our popular dishes include lamb mandi rice, our Nazarene mandi platter, and kebab. Our meat is prepared and marinated overnight, usually for more than 12 hours before they are barbecued and served fresh the next day. Another popular item is the baklava, which is a traditional Turkish pastry dessert. We hand make more than 100 pieces each day. It is amazing how much of my personal history is tied to this area. From the time I was a young boy till now, and even for the future, Kampung Glam will always be a place I call home.
But it's one of those things where you never actually make the decision to start it. And that was probably the most important part of this whole process, was actually just committing to the fact that I was going to spend years. I didn't know it was going to be 3 years, but I knew it was going to be a long time. And I went through periods of confidence and near depression on this shoot. if you look at something for so long and you spend so much time working on it, you lose all confidence that it's going to be of interest to anybody else. So that's why I guess I was so excited when the film was released and people sort of appreciated the work that had gone into it. So it started to feel a bit more worthwhile again. And that it wasn't so much that I wanted to show off or show people the city growing. I think I actually wanted to see it myself. Singapore's got nowhere to grow. It's not like a lot of places in the world where cities sprawl and get bigger. In Singapore, things tend to get taken down before they get built up. It has to be creative in how it plans for development. And so for me, that's a story. It's like the modernisation of Singapore and just seeing it almost reinvent itself every few years. The way that I wanted to shoot it, I didn't just want to have permanent cameras which would create a very common time-lapse effect where you see a cloud that appears and a cloud that disappears. I wanted the whole film to flow organically. So I had to do a lot of planning and started with about 30 core shots. By the end of the film, it grew to about 70 locations around the city. And then it took a lot of discipline. And it can be a little bit of a lonely existence when you spend 3.5 years working on a project. I don't think, for example, even my wife and my daughter really know how much went into this film. But I really do enjoy being like an outside observer. And even though the techniques have changed throughout all of my films, there's still a sense that it's almost like you're in a separate place when you're looking at the city. So I'm not really getting in people's faces with cameras. I'm more just somebody who's sort of quietly off to the side, looking at the world from a distance.